Well, what then is abundant life? Because we've asked this question too of many pastors. Jesus said, I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. What is abundant life?
I think it is walking in step with the Spirit of Christ. Paul says, be in step with the Spirit. Abundant. Never is my soul more satisfied, never am I more filled with joy than when I am in step with the Spirit of God. You know, I've had some advantages in life that others have not. Those things have not satisfied me. It's the times when I'm walking with Jesus that I'm satisfied in the deepest place. Augustine said, our heart is restless until we find our rest in Thee. And I believe that with all my heart.
But yet there are some religious people who believe that abundant life is after serving God, and through your serving Him, He blesses you, and He blesses you with material things.
Jesus said the foxes have holes and the birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay His head. Jesus was saying, I'm a man without a home, the Son of God, the King of Kings. It's not congruent with who He was to say that abundant life is health, wealth, and prosperity.
But yet it is said that His garment was such a wonderful piece of wonderful garment that they gambled for it. They threw some dice for His garment because it was the material was
and the
real.
weave, and the weave.
Huh?
Who did Jesus say was the greatest man who ever lived? John the Baptist. Well, what did John the Baptist wear? He had this funny garment made out of camel's hair and this funny belt, and he ate locusts, and he scared off people who would come out into the desert, and he'd call them a brood of vipers. John the Baptist lived the simplest of lives. And Jesus said, there's no greater man on earth than this guy.
Because he prepared the way?
Because he was in step with the Spirit of God. He was walking closely with God. And so his appearance, his material means, they were negligible.
But yet, what man has to have some way of surviving. He has to be economically, he has to be in a position to have money to sustain himself.
Sure, sure.
In today's world.
I agree with you. I just wouldn't want someone to think that coming to...
You can't live in the woods.
I agree.
And eat locusts.
Coming to Christ will not necessarily improve your material well-being. It may change your life in a very difficult way. Jesus' immediate disciples were executed. John got off light and got exiled to Patmos. Being a follower, Jesus said, count the cost. This is not an easy thing.
But isn't it true that when people live in abject poverty, when they find it difficult to make ends meet, that Christians believe that God is not blessing them? When they do not have food, or when they do not have clothes, or, as I said, when they live in abject poverty, they're not experiencing the blessing of the Lord in that condition, Reverend MacPhail.
Yeah. What they might not be experiencing is being a part of a community that shares well. And then the question becomes, well, who's in charge of the sharing of resources? Is it the government? Is it the church? Let's not blame God for abject poverty. Let's ask who should be sharing. John the Baptist said, he who has 2 tunics, give one away.
But Pastor,